So tell me a little bit about you, where you're from, um, and more about you, how you got into comedy.
So I'm from La Puente, California. I'm in a small little town called Bassett, to be very specific. So I grew up in LA, more like the IE area. I spent most of my time over there, but I started venturing out into LA, and I am mostly in LA now because of stand-up comedy. And I mean, I kind of just started stand-up comedy because there was literally nothing left to my life. I mean, I tried everything. I went to school and I changed my major so many times because I was like, I don't want to do this. And then if I found a major that I liked, I couldn't even graduate because, in college they want you to take all these random classes for nothing. Like they want you to take algebra 2 all over again, and they want you to take English all over again. I'm like, I literally did this in high school. You guys are really going to make me do this again? And I couldn't even pass like just the basic classes by myself. And, I was like, let me just try to get a job and see if I can climb up the corporate ladder. That's the only thing I can think of. But it's like every time I would get a job, I fucking hated it. Like, I just would think to myself, I'm like, is this what life is about? Like, do I really have to have a job or do something that is so fucking boring just to live like a basic life? Because I would even ask my family, like, what do you do for work? What do you do for work? And it was all just something so boring. And then I fell into this really deep, dark hole of depression one day. And I was just like, what do I want to do? This is so sad because I don't know what it is I want to do. My friends are going to college. Some of my friends are becoming mothers. They're stay at home moms at that, and a lot of my friends are getting careers and it looks like they can live average lives. And I couldn't even pay like my phone bill at the time because everything I did, I hated. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, you know what have I always wanted to do? Because I remember a high school teacher telling us, if you don't know what it is you want to do for the rest of your life, think back to when you were a kid and what did you really want to be when you were a kid. And I just thought back to it and I said, man, I always wanted to be like an entertainer, a singer, actor, and I always would randomly say like, oh, I wish I could be a comedian, like just kind of playing with that. I always thought like, oh, it would be so cool just to like be so funny and make people laugh. And growing up, I was the class clown and I was always in trouble for talking, and I always had a bunch of friends, and I always was okay with public speaking. And one time I just sat with myself and I was like, I have to figure out how to become an entertainer. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be a singer, an actor, I don't know what, but like, I have to figure out how to step into that. And
Yeah.
I came across this like YouTube video of Joe Rogan, and he was talking
Uh,
about, stand up comedy. And he was like, anybody can do it. He was saying anybody can do it. And I just kind of looked into it and I'm like, oh my God, anybody really can do it. I personally thought if you wanted to be a stand-up comedian, you had to like know someone famous to like get in that. Cause I'm like, how do you even step into that? But I found out that you can just go to like coffee shops and sign up for free and just like talk for 5 minutes, and just kind of like work your way up. And it's so funny. I don't even think Stephanie Tejada knows this because I've never told her, but I don't know if she came off the show Bad Girls Club.
yes, 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 yeah.
Yeah, that used to be my shit, right? Like I
Uh-huh.
loved Bad Girls Club. So I knew who she was before she even did comedy. And I just so happened to go on her Instagram page one time and I seen that she was taking comedy classes called Pretty Funny Women with some lady called her name is Lisa Sunset. And I looked into it and I paid money and I started the class and I just started like learning the basics. I started networking. I started going out to coffee shops and open mics and looking online and just talking to people. And before I knew it, I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is not boring. Like, I don't mind doing this for the rest of my life, because it's either I do this for the rest of my life and build and build and build on it, and I could possibly have something, I could possibly own something, or I go to a job and I just stay, do the same thing and not get shit. So I'm
Right.
like, I'd rather do this, I'd rather do
Yeah.
this That way a job in the meantime is not so hard on me because I know it's only temporary. I'm like, I now have a way out, you know? So that's kind of how like stand-up comedy started. I just thought back to like what my inner child liked, what my inner child felt fun, and what my inner child really wanted to do. And, you know, I guess I just like listened to my heart, as like cheesy as it sounds.
No, I get that. When I was a kid, I always used to like to play remember in preschool or kindergarten where they would have pretend? Like they would
Yes.
have like a fake kitchen or a fake little, so I always used to like to pretend and set up and do little skits. And I also like to get my dolls or toys and then do a little scene.
Yeah.
But I would want, so for me, I wanted to be more of a producer behind the scenes. I wanted to put other people to work.
Yeah. See, that's good because I knew too. I knew from when I was young, I'm like, I want to be the star. Cause I used to even think too, because people would always, I would always tell my parents, like, oh, I want to be a mom. I just knew I wanted to be in front of a camera and I wanted to be
Mhm.
entertaining and, you know, and I would always tell my parents, like, oh, I want to be like a model or an actor. And they would kind of be like, oh, well, why don't you be the makeup person? Or like, well, why don't you be the photographer or like be the person behind it? And I remember being a little kid and being like, no, but I would get so jealous of like the makeups, who's like the models whose makeup I have to be doing. I would be like hating them low key, you know, like I actually wanted to like be the star, but the producing is where the money is at, girl.
Oh, no, that's what I want to do. That's what more of what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the behind the scenes and the writing and all that. Yeah, no, it is. That's
Yeah.
what I learned over the years. And but this just tells us how much representation means, because you didn't know what you wanted to do
Hmm.
for many years. You didn't see anybody growing up that looked like you, that were doing things.
Yeah.
You
I
think
thought
about,
they were all men. All the comedians were like
and
men.
then
And then
also
you're right.
you grew up, I grew up in Florida mostly. And
Hmm.
so that was far away from ever going to Los Angeles. That was a big deal. Or going to, far away. That was a dream to move there. But when I lived in LA for 10 wonderful years and I saw what Los Angeles really is compared to what is depicted on the movies or TV, it's
Hmm.
predominantly Latino.
Yes,
All
it
of
is.
LAPD, all of the teachers, like if I saw recently a teacher strike, and I had to point it out to a friend, a teacher strike going out for the whole Los Angeles, maybe this was a couple months ago. And I said, do you see how LA, it's all Latinos? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But when we grew up, what did we see on TV?
White people all the
That's
time.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And it kind of saddens me. There's a lot of children like you, and I think in the Latino communities, we need to have like different careers come into schools and start
Hmm.
talking to
Yeah.
kids to guide them
Yeah,
better.
for sure.